Make up your mind. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. How do you make up your mind? How do you decide? Today for our content, we are talking about the choice paradox and then the idiom make up your mind for supersize your business. Now, make up your mind, this idiom's been around since at least the 1800s, but probably a couple hundred years earlier when Shakespeare used it in King James, one of his works. And he didn't say it exactly, make up your mind, but he basically was talking about choice and decision making and choosing among alternatives. And the choice paradox today, we talked about that as part of the BU 365-day challenge to do one thing every day that improves us. And that paradox says, and I've experienced this and I thought about it last night and today, and I can think of all kinds of examples where I experienced this and I shared it. You can see that on the Sharon Horne-Ellstrom page or in the Get Up and Go challenge. I've got a Get Up and Go private Facebook group where I've shared the past 5 years worth of challenges, and then the last 2 years we did a Get Up and Go challenge. And in the Get Up and Go challenge, I think we did 10 of those. It was to keep us moving during, and keep me especially moving during the pandemic, with times when we were locked down and all the other craziness that went along with that. It was to get me up every day and get me doing things. And so every other month we did a 30+ day challenge to get up and go, to keep doing something. And I shared the SOAP framework, and that's where I really honed in on my own personal framework of how do I actually make things happen? How do I actually deal with changes and challenges? Because one of the things that we can count on for the rest of our lives is that things are going to change and we're going to face challenges. Stuff's going to happen and we're going to have to deal with it. So why not have a framework that we can install in our subconscious that will help us to automatically get the best results for us? And so that's what the SOAP framework and that Get Up and Go challenge is all about. But this year's challenge is in that group. You can just answer the questions and be a part of the group, and then you can search for any topic, anything you want. And decision making it's in there dozens of times, different decision making tools, different ways to make decisions and choices among alternatives. But basically this paradox says, the choice paradox says, the more choices that we have, the less satisfied we are with each one. And I don't remember the author, but I read a book about this. And there's actually a book, and I didn't even talk about this in the challenge today, by a gentleman named, I might not have written down his name, but there's actually a book called The Choice Paradox, Barry Schmitz, and you can Google him in his books everywhere. But it talks about, well, when you have a lot of choices, we're dissatisfied with each and every one. And it might have been an author talking about this gentleman and his work. I don't remember now, but you know how our brain, we experience a whole lot of things, and it all goes into our subconscious. And then when something triggers our memory of that, we remember that we've had experience with this, and that we've read this theory, this thought, this word, this definition. We've heard this thing before. And instead of turning our brains off and saying, I've heard that before, I don't need to learn anything new, I don't know, I already know that. And I have been guilty of that in the past, saying, I already know that, and then my brain will turn off and go somewhere else, when I really need to be listening to something, because there's a part and a nuance of the thing I'm hearing again, that I'm obviously hearing it again because I didn't do it in the first place, or I need to hear that information as a reminder today. That's why I love social media in terms of different people that I interact with and choose to follow. They remind me of things that I have heard maybe 100 times, but it wasn't the right time for me to need that information. And then all of a sudden I'm being reminded of that information again. And I will make a different choice, a different decision, take a different action based on being exposed to that information. So if I can help you anyway, I'm gonna sign off. I've got lots of projects, lots of things I'm working on. I've got a new training coming up next week. I just got involved with another group this week, so I'm working on that, as well as all of my regular commitments. So if you have any questions about business, about chronic pain, about working from home, about corporate America, politics, not political politics, but office politics, and how to get along with other people, etc., hit me up. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow. You can also ask me technical questions, believe it or not. Sometimes I know, sometimes I don't, but I always know how to figure it out. All right, have a great day, and I'll be with you tomorrow.